Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. And actually, I introduced this as the Michigan Business Beat, but that is not really what we're doing right now. And we are welcoming Fathy Shetiah. He is, of course, the founder, president, and CEO of 7C Lingo. And this is an intro to his show because though we've interviewed him many times on the Michigan Business Beat, we now are interviewing him on what is going to be his show in just a few moments, entitled It's a People Problem. And can't we all relate to that? Fathy, welcome. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you guys having me here.
Well, listen, we appreciate the information you bring on a constant basis for us. And I think it was more of us forcing you to do a show than you requesting to do a show because our audience needs what you're talking about. Tell us a little bit about your career and how you got here.
Well, my journey really started with the CQ, specifically the culture intelligence piece, really at the age of 14 when I first came to the U.S. Immigrated from Egypt back in 1989. So it was really the challenge of understanding and communicating with people that perhaps didn't look like me, came from a different background. So I had to navigate a lot of the different things that we take for granted and don't think too much about. So that piece of it kind of set me forward to struggling as I came to the U.S. There's just so many things that I didn't know how to deal with. People being direct, people telling me things, and I had to kind of wonder, why are they saying that? So I continued on through even my college on my first professional job, and I continued seeing the pattern really, which was more, communication and the understanding of the people around me. It sounds simple, but it's really not because you're used to communicating a certain way, and now everybody around you is communicating very differently. So that took a lot of work. And today, working with businesses and community partners in so many different industries, manufacturing, legal, healthcare, and so on, we notice the same patterns continue. It's a people problem. It's a challenge of communicating, and it's really not about strategy. The strategy will work if you're able to execute it. We notice that the execution of any strategy uh, falls short because of the lack of communication, the lack of understanding, the lack of building the team that can communicate with one another. So that failure, was very, very clear that it normally comes from unclear messages, assumptions are being built just based on somebody that is not able to communicate the same way that we're used to. So it really pulled me deeper into culture intelligence. It brought a lot of excitement for me because I firsthand somebody that went through and struggled with it. So the understanding of people do make a difference, but you got to allow them to be able to communicate and understand one another.
It's kind of interesting because as a guy, that does international trade and has done a lot of international communicating, it's amazing. We talk about IQ, we talk about EQ, CQ is huge, and you can create some grand faux pas by not
Yeah.
talking about it. Give a definition of cultural intelligence.
Yeah, let's go the simple route. It's really simply the ability to work effectively with people who communicate, think, and operate differently than you. In the simplest forms, it's people that not necessarily from a different background, not from a different race, but a new hire versus somebody that you had on your staff for a while. That communication layer is a struggle at times. An engineer versus a sales or a marketing person. One generation is different than the next generation, and we see this now more than ever because different generations are entering and exiting the workforce. So it's happening everywhere. And once again, it's a communication. It's normally what happens with a lot of this stuff is how are we able to work together? So being aware of differences is something that is basic that we all understand, but we need to kind of continue reminding ourselves that those are just differences.
Well, this is going to sound stupid because I already know the answer through experience, but why is this cultural intelligence so important in 2026?
Man, it's well, the world, I don't have to say that to anyone. I mean, everybody knows the world is changing and it's changing fast. And it's really on us to figure ways to deal with it. And one way that we cannot ignore, we have to communicate. That's a must. Communication is the most important thing in 26 and beyond. And it's always been, but I think there used to be times that we can get away with it. But the world is moving fast. It's so much more open today than ever before. Workforce is so diverse everywhere you go. Teams are hybrid versus non-hybrid. Organizations are changing. Organizations are looking at ways to grow. So it's a necessity. It's no longer a luxury.
So listen, got about 30 seconds. You'll be having guests or just sharing your knowledge in your upcoming mini series?
I probably better have guests that are more educated than I am. So yes, it will be both, but it will be mainly a lot of guests that are really going to be coming in to make this useful. We're hoping to make this more very educational for all of us in the business world, in the business community, but not somebody sitting there and preaching to all of us on what to do next. It's more of conversations, simple, let's learn from one another.
Unbelievable. Well, listen, thanks so much for being with us, Fathy Shetiah, President, CEO of 7C Lingo, headquartered in Lansing, Michigan. I'm Chris Holman. We're going to be right back in just a minute.